Obviously, we're here to talk about the trade for Nick Jensen. Traded, obviously, Nick to Washington along with a fifth-round pick in 2019 for a second-round pick in 2020. And then Madison Bowey, who was a second-round pick 2013, the same draft, I think, as Mantha and Bertuzzi. He was a young player that we liked in his draft year. Good size, 6'2". He's a good skater. Things haven't obviously worked out in Washington for him to really grab a big role there, but he's played 85 games in the National Hockey League in the last 2 years, so we felt it was an opportunity to grab a young defenseman and see if we can spend some time with him here and turn him into a regular NHL defenseman for us here in Detroit. Open for questions.
And how much was the second round pick on that today?
Well, I going into, I talked to Nick Jensen's agent, Ben Hankinson, quite a bit over the last 2 weeks about a possible extension. Became obvious I think to both of us over the last couple of days that there was a difference of an opinion. And I had, over the last week, as I'm talking to general managers around the league, I had some teams that were interested, a number of teams that were interested in Nick. Certainly Washington was, Brian McClellan and I talked 3-4 times over the last week, and sensed that he would like to do the deal, and he sensed that I wanted to do the deal, and I certainly told him that one of the things that I wanted as part of the deal was a second-round draft pick. I think as we're going through our rebuild, if you look, we've got 2 seconds now in 2019, a second-round pick as part of a deal last year for Tatar. We've now got, along with our own, in 2020, we got this second-round pick plus our own, so trying to accumulate some draft picks, some higher draft picks, at the same time moving some younger players onto our roster, and then you acquire Madison, who was a second round draft pick, and he's 23 years of age, and hopefully fresh scenery can be good for him and good for us.
With Nick, was it just the term or finances that kind of got in the way to reach a deal?
Well, I think it's always all of the above. At the end of the day, I say all that. The term wasn't really an issue. If 4 years we had talked 4 years. Nick's 28 years of age. Skates good. Character guy. I'm real. Nick is a guy that was a 5th, 6th round pick of ours and came into the American League. I actually went through waivers a couple of times, and we called him up a couple of years ago for the last part of the season, and we liked what we did, and we signed him to a 2-year contract. Certainly is improved, but at the end of the day, just we couldn't find a solution. We've got Gustav Lindstrom's a right shot defenseman that's playing in Frölunda. We think he's a year and a half away, 2 years max from playing in the National Hockey League. You've obviously got Philip Hronik out there who shoots right. You got Dennis Chalowski. We got McIsaac, who we're excited about the way he's playing, our second-round pick from last year. So we're hoping here in the next couple of years that we're going to have 3 or 4 young defensemen. Obviously, as you build a defense core, always going to have some veteran people here. Can't be all young if you want to be competitive. So eventually decided that we weren't close.
How far down the depth chart does Bowey slot?
Well, he's coming here tonight. He'll be with us on our team, and we're going to watch him now. He was with his team in Buffalo. Jeff Blash and I talked to him earlier today. He's jumping on a plane, and I think he's landing here at 5:30 or 6. He's going to come to the rink tonight. He'll be on the ice tomorrow for practice, and then it'll be up to Jeff Blashill whether he wants to put him in the lineup Sunday or want to wait till Tuesday. At some point in time here this week, he'll be in the lineup. We want to make sure that when he goes in the lineup, gives him a chance. He understands the system and he feels comfortable and with everything, and give him a chance to hit the ground running. And then obviously we'll watch over he's signed for the 1920 season. At the end of that, he's a restricted free agent. So. He turns 24, I think, sometime in April. So it's a good age, and we'll watch. Trevor, you watch the players. We try to give them an opportunity, and then it's up to them to kind of grab their chunk of the ice time. So I watched him in his junior. I watched him play 2-3 times when he played in Cologne in his draft year. So I've got some recollection. Again, I remember that year as we went into the second round, we took, I think, Nastasiuk and we took Bertuzzi. He was one of the players that we liked and we thought was in that range. I like that he can skate. I think it's a league where it's important to be able to skate. And I think if you're a defenseman, he's a guy that put up offense in junior. And when you play pro hockey, do you run a power play or do you kill a penalty? And is he going to be a guy that can come in here and put up offense, or is he a guy that we've got to kind of get him to focus in on killing penalties and the defensive side of the puck? We got to get him in here. We got to observe him for a little while, talk to him, and then try to figure out how we can turn Madison into a regular NHL defenseman for us.
How surprised were you that Jensen signed so quickly?
Well, as we got close, John, to the basically near the end of the conversation with Brian and I, Brian said to me, "Do you mind if I reach out to his agent?" And I said, like, "Do we have a deal?" He said, "Yeah, we got a deal." So I said, "Go ahead." And so I'm sure in that period of time they put together whatever they put together. So I'm happy. I'm happy for Washington. I'm happy for Nick Jensen. Nick played here this year. What is it? 8-50. I mean, he hasn't made a lot of money, so this is a great day for him and his family. I think Nick is really going to help Washington. And we're excited that we got a young defenseman, and we're excited about the second round pick in 2020, given where we are in the direction that we're trying to go.
Ken, we've got a couple of other unrestricteds. Howard, like, what's anything going on in that contract? A lot of stars talks. Are you still hoping to get them signed here in the next few days?
Talks, contracts, not really. I would say to you that going to just see what happens on the trade front between now and Monday.
Has there been a lot of interest in those?
See, that I don't know. Like, I think do I get lots of calls about lots of people? Yeah, but I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if somebody's ninth on their depth chart, if he's second on their depth chart. So what ends up happening from a manager's perspective is you call around, and I call it tire kicking. You start to talk about players, and so have I got teams kicking tires? Yeah, I don't know what the tire kicking means. I'm going to know between now and Monday, but I don't know what it means.
Okay, just for due diligence, how about Vanek? Did you ask? Has he waived? Did you ask him to waive his?
I've not asked him. I would ask him if a team came. I think as you look at the marketplace, obviously there was a big trade today with Ottawa, and there's some other big names, big rumors out there. I don't know if the rumors are real or if the rumors are just made up by people with little microphones like that. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see is what happens between now and 3:00 on Monday. So we've got some unrestricted free agents. I've had some conversations with some of our unrestricted free agents. I haven't talked to some of our other unrestricted free agents. See what happens between now and Monday. Thanks.